and I'll never let you go. Oh no, 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 I love you so. Y'all remember this? And I'll get on both my knees and I beg you, please, would you spend the rest of your life with me? Cause what are the rest of the words? Oh man, what's up? This is the Woman Evolve podcast. I am your girl, SJR, and we are in the building. And I am not here all by myself. I am here with the delegation. Kendra is here from Hampton, Virginia. Okay. Oh my, Alley Oop is here from Colorado. Nicole said, "What's up, SJR? What's up?" Just Mary says, "I forgot to ask, girl, how you doing?" Saying this, first of all, do y'all know that opening the podcast up with the song might become a thing? Obviously, people love it. The one time that I didn't open up with a song, people were wondering where it was, and I had to find it. And you know what? There is a word in this for you. For you already, God is speaking. The one thing you thought you weren't talented in it is going to be the thing that people request of you. Okay, because I didn't even know that my singing could be a gift. And yet here it is gifting people. Now, are their ears bleeding, but their hearts are full of joy? Possibly. You know what I mean? But who is to determine what a gift is? Ooh, Benedicta is here from Ghana because what I said was international. Okay. The podcast is international. Me and my co-host, we from all over. You don't know. You could just roll up on us anywhere. Okay. How about that? How about that? Jen is here from Florida. Yolanda said, SJR, I see so many people who are tuning in for the first time. We love you. Thank you for joining us. This is just girl time like you would not believe. How about me time? How about Hey You? Who watched Hey You on Friday night? If you're listening and you're like, you don't even know what's going on, listen, Hey You, Friday night, I did a special night of just ministry, worship, and connection for the Woman Evolve Sisterhood. It was meant to be a time of just like reflection and one on one time. And I want to know what you guys think about it. Do you think that this is something that we should like make a thing? Like in 2021, this should be a thing. Maureen is here from the Cayman Islands. Let me tell you, we need to check on our Cayman Island sisters. They need us. Who is willing to pack a bag and head that way? How about that? How about that? Dominique says, Hey, you was so good. Sharina says, yes, Friday night was awesome. Lynette Robinson says, it was so good. Oh, Mary Liz says, that was fire. Listen, I don't know. I wasn't sure how you guys would receive it, but I really felt like there was something to at least trying to create a moment of us really tapping into the presence of God, us being able to check on our own soul, to breathe in, breathe out, and to hopefully have God's presence meet us right where we were. So I hope that you guys really, really enjoyed it. In 2021, I would love to make it a thing that we do constantly, maybe like every other month we're able to get together. Deborah writes this Friday night was for me. Thank you so much. I love that. Sarah McKinney says the worship team. Worship pulled up. If you didn't catch Hey You can go on our YouTube page and check it out. The service is there from beginning to end. Grab your notebook. If you can, try and get in this space where you can kind of receive on your own. I know that can sometimes be hard, but if not, at least just bring an open heart and try to do it while you're balancing the other things. I think it could be very special. Cindy said, you checked me, checking Eve. But I got to get Eve together, okay? I have to get Eve together. Latoya says, I'll be back for the replay later. I've got mommy duty hugs. We love you, Latoya. Take care of them kids, all right? Give them some chicken nuggets, tell them sit down and don't be on your nerves, okay? Okay, so how are we dissolving? Are we dissolving? How about that? Are we still dissolving? I'm coming to you live from the 187. And that ain't no area code. That's my weight. All right. Last week it was that 188. And let me tell you something. You may be saying to yourself it's just 1 pound, but I'm gonna thank him. I'm gonna thank him for every pound. Especially when it could have been up, because I've been down. You know what I'm saying? Could have been up, Could have been up because I've been eating down. My auntie came. My auntie just like threw me off track, and then I had to mentally get back in the game, and I'm mentally back in the game. So I'm coming to you live from the 187. Somebody said, "What you drinking?" This is a shake. I went and bought these little plastic cups off of Amazon, the little ones that they be putting like I guess these like the little Starbucks cups, but the little plastic clear dome milkshake cups. Let me tell you why. Because I had them on blender bottles, but then I would drink them and take them with me places, and then they would be stinking by the time I got home, and I had to boil them in water and a little bit of bleach, just a little bit of bleach to try and get that smell out of it. And I said, by the time I keep buying these bottles, because they were stinking, by the time I keep buying these bottles, I might as well just get some plastic cups that are disposable because I'm on the go. Does y'all's blender bottles stink when y'all leave y'all shaking them all day? And it's almond milk. It ain't even real milk. Who knew almonds could smell like this? Almonds be out here stinking. Okay, that's what I wanted to say. How about that? Marilyn says, I went on a run on Saturday morning. Saturday counts. Deidre Harvin says, the scale said, I'm not dissolving. The scale is a lie. The scale is a bold-faced lie. Okay, Aisha says, holding strong, 2 pounds down, 194. And we thank him for every 2 pounds. Yvette says, goals is a seat like this in my new room, sis. Oh, honey, this came from Living Spaces. Just in case you wondering, this came from Living Spaces. They deliver same day sometimes. Okay. Noah says those blender bottles really do be stinking. Thank you. Them things be stinking. Y'all have given me all the gas I need. Them blender bottles. Why does it smell like this? I won't do it. And then when I go to make my new shake, it smells like my old shake. And that's why I've been fat. Because of the blender bottles. How am I going to have a protein shake and the protein shake smell like last week's protein shake? I can't be fit under these circumstances. Okay? How about that? Sierra says, what we sipping on says, okay, so this is a shake, a protein shake. You know, I don't be trying to tell y'all who my don't. Shanice won't let me tell y'all who this protein shake is by because they don't pay us. Okay, and that's why we still working on cool sculpting group discounts for the delegation. And until they start telling us that they want us to tell us, so you know what I did last time? I told y'all text me if y'all want to know the name of the shake, because I put it on here and then all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm gonna say is this: if y'all want to know the name of the shake, I'm gonna tell you. Like I told you the first time, text me. That good old telephone number is 818-485-4684, and just let me know. Just say like, hey sis, what's that shake you drinking? Okay, how about that? Paris says, and that's why I've been fat. SJR, please, you or not? Not okay. By fat, because first of all, by fat, I just mean thick. I just mean out here bulging out of my clothes because I won't buy another size. That's what I mean by fat. I mean looking like a can of biscuits because I won't move into the next phase of my clothing size. And that's what I mean by that. But I don't mean like fat, okay? I mean like just bulging out of my clothes, okay? Then says, hey, SJR Aisha said, it's okay since you could do it and enjoy it. I could possibly, okay? All right, so listen. We're still dissolving. We're still minding our business. We're still drinking water. Amen. Because that is part of the rules of the delegation. You're listening for the first time and you're trying to figure out what it is. This is what I want you to know. I want you to know we drink our water, we mind our business, we dissolve when we can, we evolve when we can. Okay? And that's pretty much what we do. Kiara says, I haven't been dissolving, but I've been drinking my water and minding all my business. Well, that's more important than dissolving. Okay? How about that? Okay, so this is all right. Are we ready to rescue? Rescue Eve is when we just figure out what is happening. Can I tell y'all, this is a special relationship segment, relationship special edition of Rescue Eve. Because I noticed all of the stories had like relational elements to it. I'm going to jump right into it. Tia Mowry was on a podcast with Heidi Murkoff, who is the author of What to Expect When You're Expecting. Okay. Murkoff started a statement that went a little something like this. She was talking about her and her husband or her and her relationship. I don't know because I didn't read the whole story, but this is what she said. She says, we had to have sex once a week. That was the rule in our house because otherwise we wouldn't get around to it. Okay? Cover your ears if you have children. Oh man, I should have put that first. If you have children listening to this podcast, there are some things in here that could be inappropriate to them, and close your eyes and ears if you're a child, and call me back if you're an adult and want to listen to it like that. Man, I got to be more professional. I can't just jump into. Okay, but here we go. Anyway, okay. So Tim Mallory Hardick says that she could relate to that. She says, Heidi, this is the first time where I'm admitting it. We do too, says Mallory Hardick. And when I was younger and when I would hear that, I'd be like, why do you have to do that? But like you said, you do, especially with kids, with work and all that. You have to make sure that it is not neglected in any way. Okay, so people were really upset. Like, well, not upset, but they were in the comments just talking about how this is unrealistic and like how they not gonna have to schedule nothing and all of this stuff. And you know what? I want to say it ain't nothing wrong with putting it on your calendar. You know, um, it ain't nothing wrong with putting it on your calendar. First of all, if you have a lot of now, be clear. Shut up. Shanice is the person who's like, here you go, trying to tread on water. Here we go. This is what I'm gonna say is this. When you're married and you're busy and you have things to do, you don't want to get into the room and be down to nothing, right? In your relationship and in your marriage. You don't want to spend everything you have all day and then get to the bedroom and don't have anything for your spouse. But sometimes you spend all you have and then you get in there and your husband try to swipe the debit card, swipe the card of the debit to make it the debit card, not a deposit, not a deposit. You sweating, I'm sweating too. He tried to make a transaction, and when he gonna make the transaction, overdraft. I ain't got nothing for you, bro. Card is declined, right? But when you schedule it, you're able to say to yourself, you know what? I can't spend everything I can. Why would you have a financial plan and a spiritual plan and not have a plan for the cookie jar? Is what I'm saying. And this is what I'm saying. Like, even if you schedule it mentally in your mind, if you in a situation and you like hubby is always ready to go, well, in your mind, maybe you should be like, listen, on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I'm not about to be up fooling with these kids when these coworkers get on all of my nerves because it's an automatic payment like Netflix, right? And it's like I already know that they about to charge my card, so I gotta have some. Can we rescue them or me? whoever's whoever's first. Uh, whoever's first. Toasted Talk says plan date nights, not sex nights. And I see what you're saying there, because date nights lead to, if you dating right, date night leads to sex night. But what I'm saying is, I think that there is something to coming to a place. LaDonna says, I don't know, maybe it's because I enjoy it, but I be initiating too. I have 3 kids, ages 5 to 11. My kids have a bedtime, and my hubby and I both work full-time jobs. We get it in and make time for it. You know, Nicole says rescue. I schedule sex and I'm not as busy as she is. My kids like to block my blessings. And what I'm saying is this. Blessing, you need a plan of defense. Now I'm not saying that this is everybody's testimony, right? It's some people that I'll never have to do that. And maybe that's true for you. But let us not judge our sisters and brothers who have the schedule, because they're making it a priority, and in their world they need that. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. Amir says, it's y'all talking about the grind for me. Marissa says, we rescuing you, sis, because all of this is hilarious. I'm doing the best I can out here. Can we rescue? I think, listen, y'all single folks who listening, because it was single people in the comments, like, when I get married, when I blah, 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 it ain't gonna be like that. This is what I'm gonna say to y'all right now. You have a different perspective on your life right now than you will have once you're married. You think that you're gonna have that same single energy when you're married with kids and building a life. Single is beautiful because you are maintaining your own space, your own energy, your environment. when you start adding anyone to the mix, you know how y'all single people invite people over because y'all think y'all want to be nice and y'all think y'all want to have friends, and then you ready for them to go because you would prefer to be by yourself. What I'm saying is, when you get married, they don't go home. They are home, okay? And them kids, they don't go neither. Craziest thing, they stay too. And so now you got to work with your roommates, right? And so what I'm saying is, I forgot what I was saying. The single folks and the married and the single commented on sex stuff. What I'm saying is, you may not have to schedule it now because you're basing your opinion off of who you are now, not who you have the potential to become. Now you could get there and you could write me a letter 5 years from now and say, sis, I've made it over. I've crossed over into my next dimension, and I still don't need no schedule. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give you your flowers, and I'm going to give you cookies. But you can also say, sis, I crossed over, and when I tell you iCal reminds me 2 hours before it's time to swipe the credit card, and you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say, here are your flowers and here are your cookies. You see what I did? Flowers and cookies for everybody. I'm just taking a breath because I was under deep water there. This story seemed like a lot better idea in my head than it did when I had to talk to you all about it. And I added this story last minute, but here we are. Sharina says, rescue. Once life really hits, sometimes you lose track of how long it's been. I'm not mad at a plan, okay? Somebody says, I live for Shanice giggles. Shanice, is your microphone on today? They said they can hear you giggling. Amanda says, that's her marriage, and she has to do what is best for her and her husband. It's not anyone right to comment on what they should be doing. I agree. I'm just saying, we should not cast no judgment, okay? We should not cast no judgment. Nicole says, rescue, rescue. My husband makes appointments with me. I'm just saying. Marissa says, by the time my man shows up and we get married, I'm going to let him know that the bank is open 24/7. Welcome to the Woman Evolve podcast, where things just fall out of your mouth and they just sit there and you have to figure out what happened. Oh my. Fatima says it's a great way to stay current and exciting and more thoughtful intimacy is what it cut off. That's what I'm going with. Okay. All right. So, debit card withdrawals with debit card with yikes. All right. Danella said, explain the delegation for me, please. The delegation is what I call the people who come and listen to the podcast. And I don't even know how it happened. It's just one day I just started calling them the delegation. And now here we are, delegating. Okay. All right. So we're rescuing them. Seems like the delegation is down here for the rescue. Okay. I like that. Send coffee, says Shanice. Can we get your thoughts, please? Renee says, listen, if the men out here making appointments, why can't we? That's okay. Everyone can. Everyone can. Okay. Letitia. No, Marissa says I won't be able to look at a debit card at the same after this. My bad. All right, listen. So, like I said, this is a relationship edition of Rescue Eve. Let me tell you something. I want to know what y'all think about this. A woman and her boyfriend are arguing over her wearing another man's jewelry. A woman not named in the article went on Reddit's relationship advice forum regarding some complications at home due to her husband's aversion to her wearing another man's jewelry. This incident started when the woman's best friend visited her after returning home from India due to COVID. The woman says that her boyfriend was out with his friends and knew that she would be in the company of her male best friend that evening. Upon her best friend's arrival, she was showered with gifts that he had brought her from his said travels to India. She stated these gifts include beautiful earrings, bracelets, anklets, rings, and a gorgeous elephant necklace. She said he also gifted her with an array of Indian spices, perfume, and postcards because she collects them. Then they proceeded to make up for all the time that they didn't see each other. Upon her boyfriend's arrival, she stated that they all three hung out for a while, but she could tell her boyfriend was upset. When her best friend left, her boyfriend asked her if she planned on keeping the gift. She asked, what you mean? went on to tell her that she obviously had to give, you got to give these gifts away or at least not wear them. To which she replied, I can wear what I want. Okay. This led to a heated argument. Is she wrong for wearing the jewelry that the ex-boyfriend, that I'm sorry, ooh, I didn't call it, see, I done added dimensions to it, that her best friend bought her? She turned to Reddit to bring the situation to the forum where most of the users found that the boyfriend was overreacting. I would like to rescue the boyfriend. Um, because what I think happened was this. He probably wasn't comfortable with the friendship to begin with, and then it boiled down to a piece of jewelry. Now, let me tell you something. This is what happens to so many of us when we try to act like we okay with stuff that we not okay with. And then we end up making it about one thing. We make it about one thing when it's really about the whole thing. And he should have just probably said it from the, like, like, I'm probably not cool with you having a male best friend. That's probably where that happened. But he didn't say that. What do you think? Jasmine says it's not an engagement ring, bruh. Jenny says rescue, bruh. Mariah says best friend sounds thirsty. Not drinking his water, not minding his business. Perhaps. I don't know. Ruthie says, sis, they don't even need floaties. They better know how to walk on water. No one says if her friend taking international flights to see her, he wants more. That's what I'm saying. Oh, Alexis says no rescue. We can't rescue. We can't rescue the boyfriend. Could we possibly? Keena says the best friend is out of order. They should have bought them matching outfits. That's one thing. Like if you are, that's a good point. We have a lot of like discussions culturally about having friendships with the opposite sex and how that works in a relationship. And I do think that if you are a friend of someone who is in a relationship and you are of the opposite sex, then I do think there's probably a responsibility to make sure that they are seen as a unit so that that person can remain comfortable with the friendship. I think that's my opinion. Like I don't have any friends of the opposite sex. So I am speaking ignorantly, and so I'm not able to fully maybe give a good opinion on this. But I would think my husband has friends of the opposite sex, but we friends. You know what I'm saying? We friends. Yeah, you know what I mean? It ain't nothing wrong with having friends of the opposite sex as long as we can be friends. If we can't be friends. We can't be friends. Who sang that song? Anywho, who we can't was it
To me.
to
No,
me?
or
No,
Deborah Cox.
Deborah Cox. Anywho, stay focused on what we're talking about in the podcast. Brianna says we friends. Exactly. We friends. Jasmine says so he should have brought him a bracelet. It don't have to be a bracelet, a mug, a cup, something that says I'm acknowledging you all together as a unit. I don't know. He also maybe the boyfriend wanted some jewelry also. Ashley, Deborah Cox. Deborah Cox and RL. Let's not forget RL. Because was he in next? RL was in next. That's why I almost said next. Okay. Shay Harden says, gotta rescue their relationship and give them permission for a debit card transaction. See, this is what happened. This is, if you've ever wondered what it feels like to go downhill, this is a live representation. Tanya Down says, it's a singer for me. Love when SJR break out of the voice box. I love it. Okay. So can we rescue him? The A&M story says rescue him, best friend, rescue him because if it was on the other foot, that wouldn't fly. Zinnia says, I agree. The best friend has to respect her relationship. And that's got to be an awkward position, like when you're friends with someone of the opposite sex and then you're there when they're in different relationships, like navigating the proximity that you can have with them when they're in relationships, because you have to be sensitive to the fact that they are a unit, whether they're off and on with that person or not. Like there just has to be. I would think there has to be some respect there. Like, so what you can do when you're in a relationship versus what you can do when you're not is different. I don't know. Alberta says rescue the boyfriend. I agree. Aisha says like the friend might be trying to shoot a shot. That's what it feels like. It feels like some shots being shot. You know what I mean? Andrea says rescue the boyfriend. I agree. All right, so hold on now. Sid Therese. Sissy Jones says, no rescue boyfriend, not husband, boy, bye. You control him before marriage. Put a ring on it, Beyonce. Okay, this is all I'm gonna say to that. I understand the control, but how much is that like control? This is what I will say. I'm gonna boil it down to this. How about this? Okay, and this is something my husband and I, when we were dating, this is something that we navigated. It wasn't about whether or not something was right or wrong. It was about whether or not something rubbed up against an insecurity. Because we felt like in our relationship that we had a responsibility to navigate one another's insecurities. Of course, there are limits to that. Like we didn't want to pacify, change ourselves, or diminish who we were. But if we could shift in a way that wouldn't cost us anything but made the other person comfortable, then that became something that we began to focus on. It really wasn't controlling. So I do think to make it about, that's why I said to make it about the jewelry isn't really what the problem is. The problem is with the friendship in general and him perhaps feeling insecure in his role in the relationship because of the friendship. And so the underlying question, I wouldn't chop it up to just the jewelry. Like in all seriousness, I wouldn't be like, there's got to be, I would break out my feelings box. I hear you're speaking about the jewelry, but there appears to be an underlying issue here, and I would love to get to the bottom of it so that I can learn how to better love you while also maintaining this friendship that's important to me. First of all, what you should know is I have no interest in that being anything but a friend. His breath stinks. He doesn't shower daily, but I've just known him since the first grade, right? And we've got so many memories together. You are the person I want to spend my life with right now in this moment. I don't know about forever, but stay here, stay focused on where we are now. And I would like to know what it is about this friendship that is creating we have that is causing this reaction out of you. Did y'all know that the box works in relationships? Um, did y'all know that? Julie says that's why I'm not wanting to rescue him. He's masking an insecurity that may need to be worked through. But the whole point of rescuing is for us to say we know we've been there, we know better, so we're trying to do better, so we want to help other people do better too. How about that? Jane Nicole says, "Come on, box and sensitive voice." Faith Lear says, "Are you whispering?" I'm not whispering. That's just my feelings box voice. I can't. I don't go into my feelings box up here. I have to bring it down. I don't know. It's less intimidating. I don't know. Natalie says the box don't work. This girl, Natalie. Now you've been on this podcast a long time, so you know the box. Don't take that back. Retract your comment, okay? Then he says, when you low key drag the dude that you want to be standing by Bay at your wedding, sending me. Okay, how about that? Not the box in AT&T voices. I didn't hear nothing. I brought it together. Okay, so Mercy wants to know, do I have different boxes for different relationships, or is this all in one box? It's pretty much the same boxes. People are all the same. They're just younger, older, in different positions in our life, but they're all the same. All right, so we're rescuing the boyfriend. Can we send him floaties? Can we send him floaties? I understand that you all don't want us to send a jet. I understand that some of us are feeling a little iffy about this story, but I am one. Natasha, you better preach the word. Natasha says the box still works. It will never lose its power. Holy Ghost. You know she's talking about the blood. She wants me to sing the blood still works. It will never. I need tea for that one. I can't just break into that one. I need tea. Don't play yourself. I need tea for that one. Don't play yourself. Okay. All right. So Jasmine says send him a therapist. All right. Ashley says he can get the Dollar Tree floaties. Let me tell you how I love the Dollar Tree because they're not lying. Dollar Tree said everything in here is $1 and they mean it. Them Dollar Generals, generally $1, perhaps 5 to 6. I don't fool with those, but Dollar Tree, okay. Ronnie says, "Oh no, no jet. A floatie's enough." All right, Dollar Tree floatie. We love a Dollar Tree floatie. Okay, we love a Dollar Tree floatie. That's it. Okay, we're gonna send a floatie, and then we're gonna bring him into the light with Dr. Anita. Okay, how about that? Relationship series rescue Eve. The next story. A woman who's been married 10 times says she doesn't care how many marriages it takes, she'll keep trying. I'm going to run it back one more time. A woman who's been married 10 times says she doesn't care how many marriages it takes, she'll keep trying. You know, 56-year-old Casey says she's been married to a variety of different men, from a rocker to a preacher to her high school sweetheart, but she always ends up alone. Casey says her longest marriage was 8 years and the shortest was 6 months, and she says she's on the verge of ending her relationship with number 10. She continues by saying that when she's in a marriage and I can't take it anymore, I'm usually the first one to say, "That's it, we're getting a divorce," and I quit. She finishes by saying that she doesn't care how many marriages it takes, she's going to find someone who loves her. All right. Her children claim that they've witnessed their mom cheating on some of the 10 husbands she had. You better pull the whole story before you try to rescue people. And you might be trying to rescue people and then you read the story on the podcast and get water in your own lungs. You get water in your own lungs when you don't read the whole story and you just read the headline and then you get down to the last sentence. You mess around. Did y'all ever see Baywatch where they went out there with the little red thing to rescue folks and then they would be struggling and David Hasselhoff would have to go out there and get Pamela Anderson because she was struggling? This is a podcast version of that. Because in the process of me reading the story, I realized, wow. Um, so Danielle says, what is this doing to get all these proposals? I just need one. Asia says she out here marrying like the Energizer Bunny. Michelle says, is she getting alimony from the exes? Probably not. Ashley says, lift up your voice so you guys did I hear cheater. Yikes. Somebody said call Core. Let me see, of course, if I can get Core on the phone. Why not? Here we are. There's already water in my own lungs. Let me see if I can get Core to pick up the phone because we need she. We need she. Let me say this. I didn't read the last two sentences, so I'm in a little bit of a pickle. I'm not gonna lie. Poor trying to act like she got something to do when Lord knows she ain't got nothing to do. Lord knows she ain't got nothing to do. All right, so Natasha says 10 times. Jesus, how did she do it? I'm trying to get done with one, let alone 10. 10 is a lot. Okay, so listen, I'm gonna try and call Court. If she don't pick up, I'm gonna just move on. Oh, she picked up the telephone. I'm on the podcast, so don't be yourself, be different, but also be you. All right, Core, we want to know your perspective on a story.
Okay.
I'm gonna read it to you real fast, like. Well, are you on your computer?
I am.
Can you text her a link real quick? Oh, she already texted you a link. Oh, get on, you get down and do what you got to do where you need to be. You know what I'm saying? Girl, get down and do what you need to do. I don't have time for you to finish organizing your closet. I'm a professional, and we on the line right now. We on the telephone right now. They watching us.
I'm coming right now.
Oh my. Okay. So this is about to be interesting. Liz Upshaw says, "Don't be yourself, be different." Y'all don't have family members that y'all have to tell them, "We about to go somewhere. I'm about to take you to my office. I'm about to take you up to the school." Be different than who you are. Who you are, I don't want to show up. I want you to be someone different. Try someone else on for size for at least an hour, okay? Yeah, because on speaker, anybody gonna say anything, okay? How about that? Cora's coming on, and we just about to see what she gonna say. You know, I don't have my AirPods down here. This Raggedy. I'm gonna just read the story and then at least they'll hear what she says. Will you grab? You could grab my AirPods. I could use your AirPods. Oh, thank you very much. This is a mess.
All right, Corey.
She's there. Okay, hold on. Let me turn on my. Appreciate you. Appreciate you
I
so
wish
much.
that I was in
There
better
she is. Look at you.
circumstances. This
Yeah.
is very random of you.
That's all right. God is faithful. God is random. Huh? Sometimes it feels like God is random, but he's doing things that we already knew he would be doing.
Oh God. I'm concerned about this. What is going on?
Okay, Cord, let me read you the story real fast. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I said, are you ready?
I'm ready. Hello, delegation.
Okay. All right. Okay, Cord, listen. 56-year-old Casey says she's been married to a variety of different men, from a rocker to a preacher to her high school sweetheart, but she always ends up alone. Casey says her longest marriage was 8 years and the shortest was 6 months. And she says she's on the verge of ending her relationship with number 10. She continues by saying that when she's in a marriage and I can't take it anymore, I'm usually the first one to say, that's it, we're getting a divorce, and I quit. She finishes by saying that she doesn't care how many marriages it takes. She's going to find someone who loves her. Okay. She's been married 10 times. She says she doesn't care how many marriages it takes. She'll keep trying. But this last sentence is what drove me. I was gonna rescue her. I ain't read the whole story. Okay, because people love, and she hasn't given up on love, and I thought that was beautiful, and I thought we could rescue her. Okay. But then the last sentence says her children claim that they've witnessed their mom cheating on some of the 10 husbands she's had.
She's how old?
Only 56.
Oh, she's too old to be doing this. She's too old for this kind of foolishness. This is foolishness. She's too old. She's too old for this. This is foolish. Rescue her for what are we trying? Oh, what are you trying to rescue her for?
Right. I see what you're asking. The thing is that up until that last sentence, I was gonna rescue her, and I just called you really peer pressure. The delegation told me to try and call you. But you're right. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, she's too old to be cheating and
Don't you
sleeping
think?
around and having a lot of husbands.
But don't you think besides the cheating that we could rescue her because she hasn't given up on love?
No, I
Isn't
think
that
that is
beautiful?
the problem. She's the one searching that she needs to sit down and let somebody find her. She's been going into these relationships and disappointing herself. She needs to sit down somewhere and focus on thine own self, because this baby is struggling. Okay, I don't think she's trying to find love from anybody else. I think she's struggling with finding love for herself. She needs to work on loving thine own
Right.
self. This is a Raggedy rescue. Is this real? Is this a real story?
Or no, it is a real story. She was on Dr. Phil. But this is what I'm gonna say. You're right. It is a Raggedy rescue. I just didn't realize it was Raggedy because I didn't read the whole sentence, the whole thing. The whole situation. And since I was
Just
already being
showing her
unprofessional by not
children
reading the whole
foolishness.
story,
This
I
is
said let's just bring you on.
this is just foolish. She's showing her children this foolishness. This is not right. She doesn't have a lot of self-worth within herself, and she's not trying to find love. She's trying to find worth within herself. And
The
she needs
A&M story said rescue her. She finding her likes and dislikes. LOL. I like it. There's an A
at
on there.
56. No, you're not finding your dislikes and likes at 56. She's
Right.
56. She not she not 15. She's 56 years old. She should know her likes and this. She'd have been married over 8 times. What is it that she is trying to find out? She's got more information than most any woman in the world. Trying to find her likes and dislikes. Come on. Come on. She's 56. No, that's not it, Rhonda. That's not it at all. It couldn't be. No, she's too old to be going through this. She needs to sit down and work on the last relationship. This relationship she in right now, she needs to be working on it before she ends up a divorcee of 11 and not 10. She should have learned a lot more than she has learned up until this point. I don't understand. She's trying to find better help. Petra says she's trying to find better help.
Yeah, better help is my therapist sponsor. All right, well,
It's
what's
gonna
her
be a
name?
firm
Casey,
no
I'm
for
gonna call
me.
Casey. Casey, hold on, I'm gonna call you right back. You know what I'm saying? I know we was right in the middle of rescue, but Casey, I'm gonna call you right back because I need to see something real quick. Have you? That's how you end things abruptly when you never calling somebody back again. Have you ever had to end something abruptly and never had to call them back again? What'd you say? I'm gonna call you right back. That's the first
Right.
time that someone's never calling you back again. Casey, I'm gonna call you right back on this one. Right back. Well, Corey, you might as well stay for the last rescue. You're there
Okay.
now. The last rescue. A Swiss couple names their child after an internet company to save money on internet costs. A Swiss couple received and responded to an ad from Swiss internet provider Wi-Fi. The ad said that if a couple or parent named their child after their company, they will receive free internet for 18 years. So the couple, taking the deal, named their newborn daughter Wi-Fi. It is essential to mention that it is not the child's first name, but her second middle name. The Swiss internet provider deemed it valid and accepted the couple's submission. The parents, both 35 and 30, said they wish to remain anonymous because people are judgy, and revealed that they no longer that the longer they thought about it, the more unique the name became, and that was when things got its charms. Four, hear me clearly.
What is the baby name?
Twifia, Twifia. It's Twifi with an A on the end. Shay Nicole says, Sarah, you've reached an all-time low.
And this is
Let
her
me
mid.
tell you something.
This the baby middle name, not the baby last name.
Core, how I would name my child Chevrolet if they would let me have my car for free, no car payment. I would name my child Charter,
Really, Sarah?
AT&T, Core, to not pay bills. Who is tired? 2020. I'm tired of paying bills in 2020.
18
Spectrum.
years of free internet, and you gonna name your child Wi-Fi?
My kids want to change their middle names anyway. Why? So I might as well get my money's worth out of them a little bit.
They don't get the free internet. The internet is for you. What is going to they need to get internet when they need to get a job?
I think Maserati's a beautiful name.
Maserati.
Nobody
I can't. I will not subscribe to Wi-Fi for any reason.
Keela says, listen, it's the middle name. Whatever we got to name it, I sure will. When I say whatever we got, why? Core, we must rescue them. Core, we must
This baby is not going to be able to get a job.
Tell nobody to look at your middle name on a job application.
What is the baby's first name?
I don't know what her first name is. I'm talking about her middle name. Her second middle name. Ellen Jean
this is
Roberts.
No. And I'm upset that this is the second middle name. This suggests that her name in general is Team Too Much. Okay. It is Team Too Much. She's got two middle names for 18 years of free internet.
Yes.
Why?
I don't know, because we get into the first of the month, but I'm tired of paying bills. And I read this story. I didn't think nothing was wrong with it.
I'm just trying to figure out why. Like, what marketing contract, what in the world? What? I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. I don't understand.
Renee says rescue. I rescue this baby can change her own name when she reach 18. Until then, virtual school free Wi-Fi it is. I'm tired of
Listen,
paying bills in
when
2020.
you talk
And
about
if
that
there's
virtual
someone out
learning,
here saying, yes,
when you talk about that virtual learning, 18 years of free internet may not be that bad. But the question is it 18 years of free good internet, or is it 18 years of free trifling internet? And now you done named this baby Trifler for 3 gigabytes of speed.
you're asking a lot of questions that they didn't provide us answers.
Exactly. Trifling Wi-Fi.
Cora, we're gonna rescue them.
All right. Well, we got to rescue this baby because the baby didn't have no choice, but we're not rescuing these parents.
We're rescuing the parents too.
Mm-mm. You're responsible for what you declare over your child's life.
That's what somebody put in the comments. Or you're
What
saying
does
that
Wi-Fi mean?
connection, when internet connection.
That's not what it means.
Well, guys, this has been Rescue Eve with a random injection of course.
I just think it's trifling.
I like it.
I mean,
This is what
18
I'm
years
saying.
of free internet, though,
Think
it had to
about a
be
month
the bomb
ago.
internet.
What if it's super high speed?
I'm trying to figure out what the marketing is behind it. Like, what, you just want me to name my kid and you gonna give me free internet? It ain't nothing else to go with this story? Sarah, I'm disappointed in your rescue stories today. Okay. I want to be
Well,
clear
you
on
are
that
not HR, so you
so
can't even
that
write
this
me up.
doesn't
You
happen again.
telling me you disappointed like you HR?
I'm disappointed in your rescue stories, and I don't feel good about it. I don't understand what is happening here. Okay. You got a 56-year-old that is the woman at the well, modern day.
I just didn't read the last sentence. That's
Mm-hmm.
all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had a family member come up to your job and then realize that you wasn't good at your job?
I'm just saying that these rescues are raggedy. They're Raggedy Rescue Edition. Okay. And I expect better from you.
Okay, so the first rescue though was about Tia Mowry and her husband scheduling sex.
Okay.
Okay, the second one, do you have an opinion on that?
Scheduling sex.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, if your schedule is hectic and you've got to make sure you put it in, we schedule date nights, we schedule doctor's appointments, maybe you can't afford to be spontaneous in this season. You got to schedule your sexual encounters.
Okay,
The
that's
struggle
a
gets
good
real
point.
like that.
Right. What a woman and her boyfriend were arguing over her wearing jewelry that her male best friend bought her.
Okay, so he's
Can Brandon
insecure.
have a female friend that buys him things and you be comfortable with that?
Yeah, because anything else would be, again, insecurity on the male's part. If this was her best friend before y'all got married, this is her best friend after you got married. Why are you feeling some type of stress about jewelry if you got the main piece of jewelry on her hand?
Well, they not married. They was just boyfriend. Oh, it wasn't
Oh,
husband.
it's the
Okay.
boyfriend that got mad,
Yep.
not the husband. Oh
Right.
no, well, you don't have access for anger. That's sage, you know. You just, you can't be the angry boyfriend. Okay, you can be the angry husband, but you cannot be the angry boyfriend. That's not gonna work.
Okay, well, we decided to rescue him. You're late. This is what you get for being late. Okay,
Okay,
and
okay.
then everything but the last sentence of the woman being married 10 times was going to swell. And I stand by the Swiss couple.
That to
Whatever.
you, the last up to the last sentence, things were going swell. From the start of that story, I was struggling. Okay, when you said she is 56, I began to struggle. So it didn't take me to the last sentence. It took you to the last sentence. It did not
All right. All
take me
right.
to
Well,
the
for my
last.
phone's ringing, so I'm going to call you right back.
You brought me in here, okay? I didn't ask to come in here. I'm in my closet trying to organize
No,
and live
I'm
my
calling you
best
right back.
life.
Call you right back. My phone's
Right,
ringing. Call you
right,
right back.
really, really. Kick me off the stage, then, Shashi. Go ahead, just kick me off.
Shashi, the X at the corner. Call you right back. Call you right back. Call you right back, corner. Real fast. Real fast. Hold on. We about
Shashi
to miss
doesn't
this call.
know
Call you
you're
right back.
serious. She
Shashi
doesn't
X.
know.
X. When I said call you, there we go. X. When I say back on the back is the X. The back. We got to work on that because if we ever do that again, when I said right back, that's click. You don't even
She's
wait.
still there.
She's still there. Oh, just wait. You don't. We just click. You know what I mean? You don't wait for them to say, okay, you got to click right on over. Hail Mary. Um, Hail Mary is a part of our podcast when we just take a moment to acknowledge people who are doing great things. Okay, living their best life. Okay, and I want to start this Hail Mary with a story. So I said, Rhonda. Rhonda said, "Why'd you do core like that? Call you right back." Oh, gotta catch the call. Call you right back. Okay. All right. So listen. Um, we are Hail Mary. Hail Mary. Boom shakalaka. God is good. Have y'all heard that song? It's a hit. People love it all over all over the world. Okay, listen. A New Jersey woman saved herself from kidnapping by mouthing "Help me" at a bystander during alleged robbery. The victims were parked and seated in a car at 10:45 p.m. on Friday when a knock on the driver's side of the window interrupted them. The man approached the couple by a man claiming to be a police officer. The man proceeded to tell the couple that they were breaking the law by being intimate in their car. Relationship edition. He then told the victims that he wouldn't bring them to jail if they gave him a little bit of money while revealing he had a firearm. The suspects later identified as 39-year-old Travis Mann ordered the female victim out of the car's front seat and onto the back seat while directing the man to drive to the nearby ATM. Sis got to the ATM, steps up to the ATM, planning to withdraw the additional money when she caught the eye of a stranger who had pulled into the bank's parking lot and she mouthed the word, "Help me." Let me tell you why this is a Hail Mary. Um, I like this Hail Mary story because sometimes I'll be wondering what I would do in a situation. You know what I mean? Because you got to play stuff out. We watch too many movies, we see too many headlines. And this was a Hail Mary because she said, "Help me." And it worked. Let this be a word to somebody. If you are ever in a situation and you have an opportunity to perhaps get some help, try it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was great. I think that we should really give this woman a Hail Mary. Okay. Um, what do you guys think about this? Hail Mary. Uh, Jessica says when you your own HR. Oh. Jasmine says, signed on the song mugshot. What is happening? I'm trying to move on to Hail Mary. Some things that happened earlier in the podcast where things went a little bit. Is Core still backstage? Core's no longer backstage. I don't know what to tell y'all. I'm just trying to move on. Okay. Amber says she can't focus on Hail Mary. Okay. I can't. I have to call Core back. I cannot believe core is not my HR, but the delegation is. Armani says this story got glory on it. Hail Mary for sure. Tatiana says Hail Mary to the back to the bystander. Click
Please, I'm
the
tired of your disrespect. I'm not going to stand for it, okay? I'm minding my business.
Can you get back on the link?
Oh, now you want me to get back on now, huh? Why? What is it that you need from me now?
I need you to finish the episode with me now.
Here I come.
Hurry up, please. We're all waiting for you. This rescue, this episode, may never see the light of day. If you're watching live, I hope you enjoy it. See these hands? I hope you enjoy it because it may never see the light of day. Not to make it political, I use Trump hands when talking because, wow, never see the light of day. Cora's getting going. Danielle said she thought to get you right on the guest. She thought that says Cora's me if somebody did me like that. Never see the light of day this episode. Wow. Shamira says, I love this episode. Kiara says this episode definitely needs a rescue, and I couldn't agree more. Okay, so y'all couldn't even Hail Mary with me, and I thought that was great. And so how about that? Oh, there she is. Hey sis, I love you so much.
Right. Yeah.
I just ended my call. Thank you.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Disrespectful.
You'll be all right. God's still faithful. Still on the
This
throne.
is the Raggedy Rescue episode.
No, Raggedy Rescue episode, official title.
Yeah.
Just listen. We're moving on to Hail Mary.
Okay.
Tiara said she didn't have to do you like that court. The way the
Thank
delegation.
you. Thank you, Tiara.
Oh, trust me. Ain't nobody riding for you like the delegation right now. They feel like you have been wronged, and
I have. I've been wronged. I need to be rescued. Okay.
Wrong was you coming at me with roller skates as a child.
Oh, really? Really? We're gonna bring that up now? Okay. All right. It's fine.
Okay, listen. I would like to move on to Hail Mary. Okay.
Go
I tried
for
to
it.
do a Hail Mary. The lady was rescued. New Jersey woman saves herself from kidnapping by mouthing "Help me" at a bystander during an alleged robbery. They were robbing her and her husband. Put a gun up to her back. Took her to the ATM so she could pull money out that bank. Somebody walks by. She mouthed the word "Help me," and when she did that, somebody called the police to help her. Big ups.
Big ups that they can read lips.
Yeah, because I would never. Let me tell you, if you was dependent on me to help you, and I had to read lips.
No.
Oh God.
It wouldn't have been helpful
First
at
of
all.
He would have known for sure you were mouthing something because I'd be like, What'd you say? I can't read lips. I hate when my kids try to talk to me in church.
Where did you mouth? How did you turn your head and mouth a whole "help me" to somebody? Like, who was that close to you to see "help me"? Like, how did they know you said "help me" and not "hurt me"? You know, like what? Well, shout out to reading lips, okay, and not minding your business at all times.
Yeah, come on now. There's something. Remember when you wanted to break Mind Your Business Ministries at Wingstop? Remember we went to Wingstop and that lady came in there crying and stuff, and you wanted to go out there and check on her?
Right, because I felt like, in some instances you should help people. You be the one wanting to rescue people. You wanted me to mind my business that day, though.
I did. We went to Wingstop. First of all, our wings were late. This isn't the best story. We went to Wingstop. Wingstop was supposed to be ready in 20 minutes. It was supposed to be a wing stop. We was at a wing pause. Okay. This has become a wing pause. It's supposed to stop and go. Okay. This is now a wing pause. Okay. And we at the wing pause, and this lady came in there, boo-hoo crying, face
Yes,
torn up,
yes,
torn up, crying, but asking about her wings.
right.
And they was like, she's like, "Where's my wings?" She was crying and stuff. And then they was like, "They're not ready." She was at wing pause too. Probably thought she was at wing stop. So she went outside to sit
Wing
for the
pop.
rest of the wings. And Corey goes, "I'm gonna go out there and talk to her." No, you're not. We're not going out there to talk to her.
She wasn't a young child or anything, but I just,
She was a grown woman,
yes, I just felt
and
like she was so broken down. She was so broken.
it was about 10 o'clock at night though, because the wings were late. It was late,
Yeah.
and we were not in the safest neighborhood. And I didn't know why she was crying. And we're not about to take our Karen selves out there to check on her and be in somebody else's business.
This is facts. Oh, my voice is probably
Okay.
louder because I don't have my headphones on, and my voice is loud in general. Talk to
Okay.
favor.
And Destiny says, "I'm the same way, Sarah. Mind your business." Cora swore she was about to go. I said, "No, you're not going out there.
I
We
wanted to
don't know
help
if
her.
it's
She
that
was so broken down.
ex-husband or boyfriend, some domestic violence situation, or some drug situation. We don't know what's happening. You done took yourself out there like a Karen in somebody's business, and now we all up in the middle of somebody's something.
You're
Mm-mm.
right. I didn't go though. I didn't go.
Yeah, I know you didn't, because we were sitting up there together.
I was trying to help her, sissy. She was so broken down. She was broken. And I knew it had to be more than just these wings.
I we don't. Lakeisha says prolonged wings will make you cry, though. Who knew what it was about? Okay. Okay. All right. So yeah, help me. That's a Hail Mary for help me. The next help me is the next help me. Jesus.
Hail Mary is with the name of the segment.
I'm finished with this episode. I'm off. The next Hail Mary is Me Too founder Tarana Burke making activism more accessible via Me Too Act 2. Founder of the Me Too movement against sexual violence and sexual harassment, and longtime activist Tarana Burke knows people are outraged and even overwhelmed. In collaboration with creative data marketing agency FCB/6, Burke said the Me Too organization is launching a new digital platform called Me Too Act 2 that allows today's activists, both experienced and new, to educate themselves and get involved in their communities and beyond. Love that so much. Love the Me Too movement and how it created so much change for so many different industries, including the church in the faith sector. So I definitely love that.
Awesome. Hail Mary.
Not Hail Mary for that. Okay.
That
Um,
was a good one.
Okay, this I'm gonna do this last one. Okay, there's a high school teacher that allows his students to fall asleep in class. So he's an Instagram famous social studies and psychology course teacher, Mr. Isaac Harms, and is known in his high school and by the nation to allow and even encourage his students to fall asleep in class. Okay, the teacher says that he allows his junior and senior students to fall asleep to better assist in learning the 4 stages of sleep. When being interviewed by Good Morning America, Harm says, "When we go into sleep, we took notes, learning the stages and benefits of sleep, slowly moving into this altered state of consciousness." He continues, "They all get excited and say, 'Seriously, we can sleep?'" So during this lesson, he encourages the teens to find a comfortable spot in the classroom. They do relaxing breathing exercises. Then he reads them a 20-minute scripted story with a detailed outline as they fall asleep. After they wake up from their altered state of consciousness, the class walks through what they remember from the story while matching it to the stages of sleep. Some students report entering various stages of sleep or even not sleeping at all. I love this so much. One, because I thought that it was really dope that he was doing something that made the students excited about school. I feel like traditional methods of teaching work for some students, but sometimes you do need creativity in a lesson plan. And so I thought that this was out of the box and something that was definitely very dope.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what it is that they are supposed to be learning if they're taking a nap. What's that got to do with history? You say he was a history teacher? What does nap time got to
He
do with
teaches
history?
history and something else. I think it's psychology, and they do like a sleep portion of the class.
Oh, it's just a portion of the class. Okay.
Yeah, like a sleep studies portion of the class.
Well, how long is the class?
Let's say it's 45 minutes.
Okay, so you sleep for 20 of it and then you learn for 25?
Monica says you actually process information while you sleep. I'm asleep right now, to be honest.
You
Our mindset
process
educators
information
matter.
while you
I'm here
sleep
for it.
in high school? They
In
process
life,
what information?
you probably when okay, no, this is real talk. Now, I'm not a scientist, but I will say this: when you have learned new things, even I studied this even when preaching my sermons. Like so, like when I have studied my outline and get my outline together, the way that it goes from something that you're just holding in your mind to part
Hmm.
of your knowledge base is when you go to sleep, your brain is able to like rework and rewire so that you're able to retain the information that you just consumed. That much I
Yeah.
know for sure. So yeah.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. I believe that naps are very crucial, and I love naps. I just want to make sure that it lines up with the history class because nap time don't have nothing to do with history.
Right,
But if he's
right.
teaching and then want them to take a nap so that they can retain the information, then that's beautiful. Hail
Well,
Jerry Joseph is a teacher.
yeah, Joseph,
Just a
right.
Hail
Uh-huh.
Joseph.
Well, it's social studies and psychology, so it's a portion of the psychology class.
But they're not in the psychology class. They are in history class.
No, no, stay focused on your job. You wrote me up to HR. I'm gonna write you up to HR. Okay. The very first sentence, the Instagram famous social studies and psychology course teacher, Mr. Isaac Harms, okay,
Got you.
is known in his high school. You with me?
Yes, I got you.
Okay.
Social studies and
And social.
psychology nap time course. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah,
Episode not
Hail
for high
Joseph
school
to
kids
nap
unless you're
time,
into that.
and I guess that is also helpful to Joseph too because he don't have to do a whole bunch of work because everybody's taking a nap.
His name's not actually Joseph. His name is Isaac, but
Oh,
whatever.
Hail
However you
to
want to say
Isaac, Hail Isaac. But this is a Hail Joseph segment, right?
it. Right, right.
Right. So
Mhm.
that's why I'm saying Hail Joseph.
Mhm.
But I
Mhm.
wonder, Isaac is probably not getting too much work done if everybody is sleeping in his class. What does he study while they are sleeping?
He studies them. As, never mind. Can you just say Hail Joseph and
And
that's
then
good and
ain't that a
everything?
little weird to be watching kids sleep? I don't know. I'm not sure about it. But okay. Hail Joseph and hail Isaac. Hail all to them. And rest well.
You all really asked for this.
I'm just saying, it's some other things happen when you sleep
Court,
psychologically too.
court. What is wrong with you?
I'm just saying, like, I was just trying to figure it. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm just trying to figure it out. Okay, I'm not trying to treat it as a rescue. I was just trying to figure it out. 20-minute nap time,
All right.
social study, psychology. Got it.
Well, thank you for making education creative and really creating an environment that makes children excited to come into the learning environment. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Moving on to the advice section.
Absolutely.
Are you listening?
Yeah, I'm with you. Go ahead.
Okay. Hey, SJR. I finally got to see you in New Orleans for I Refuse to Lose. Shout out. Come on, I Refuse to Lose. Are you signed up for the replay? The replay is happening November 13th. Y'all need to go to womanevolve.com so that you can get all the details for the Refuse to Lose tour. Anywho, it says, hey, SJR, I finally got to see you in New Orleans for I Refuse to Lose. Child woke me all the way up. I have followed you for some time and you have blessed me in so many ways. I watch your podcast and I know you get thousands of questions, but I need help with my situation. Hopefully, you will be able to see this. My boyfriend and I have been together for 3 years. I'm 28 and he is 32. I'm a registered nurse, and he has been with me when I was a tech studying for my license exam, switching and complaining about jobs, all that. Now that I feel settled, I've been looking for him to do the same. He's in school for his biology and chemistry degree with his dream to become a physician. He isn't in his career at all. He isn't making the money he wants. Things just haven't been going good for him at all. I work nights, he works days. We don't see each other much. And lately, I've just been feeling super lonely and just wanting so much more from him. He's taking a break from school because of finances with a year and a half left to work because he wants money and wants to get ahead. But he complains about wanting a better job. But, child, I want to get married and start having kids soon. Not rushing, but soon. But the way it's going, I don't know. I've been praying for patience from God in his direction, but I don't know what I'm doing wrong and what I can do better to help him in this season. He's a great guy, but am I wrong for wanting more right now, or should I continue to stand by him like I have been? I love him. I just want better, and I don't know if he can make me 100% happy. If he isn't where he wants to be in his life, I'm not sure what God's plan. I'm not sure what's God's plan or what I should do. Send the vote, please, SJR. So I'm gonna say something, then I'm gonna toss it to Core, then we're gonna toss it to the delegation. I think that what you have to ask yourself in the middle of your frustration is what I am sensing a temporary state that he's in or a character trait that is rubbing me the wrong way. I think that if you're able to say he has a great work ethic, if you're able to say he's committed, he's focused, he's loyal, he knows what he wants out of life, and then he goes and gets it, then he's just in a stage right now that he may have to work through. And that could be challenging as you guys work through it together. But I feel like if those core character traits are there, if he's got that I refuse to lose mentality, then you don't have anything to worry about. You may just need a little bit more patience while he's able to get up, right? However, if you're experiencing something that you feel like is a fundamental flaw in his character, like maybe he doesn't have great work ethic, I love him, he's nice, he's funny, and all this stuff, but he doesn't know how to hustle, he doesn't know how to get up and go get something. And those are things that are important to you. Those may not be things that are important to some other people, but it is important to you that as you have a partner, you feel like you have someone that won't let anything stand in their way, that they'll get up after obstacles, that they'll be focused and intentional. Then I feel like if that's a flaw that you think that he's missing, then maybe there is an opportunity that you need to consider in pivoting and really going to be by yourself and looking or waiting for someone who really shares those fundamental values about life. I will tell you, I feel that like one of the number one killers of relationships is a loss of respect. When you can no longer respect someone, when you can no longer respect the way that they stand up or stand down to life, when you feel like if we get into a fight that I can't count on you because you're too whimsical and you're too floaty, then that can be very frustrating and ultimately make you feel like you don't want to be with someone. Because at the end of the day, we're trying to build a life together. And you can only build a life with someone who you feel like is stable and secure and focused and driven. And if you feel like he doesn't have those things as a part of his core values, right? Like life can happen, you can go through different stages and maybe you get knocked off core. But if that is his core value and it's lacking, then I feel like maybe you should consider what life would look like without that person.
It's been 3 years. So if you were gonna be with him and he was gonna be with you, then it would have been found out by now. I think
Oh, what you talking about?
I no, I really do.
He's just not motivated.
Right. And so again, if he wanted to be with you and you wanted to be with him, it would not take more than 3 years to find that out and to make the decisions to apply that understanding. And so, if after 3 years, now all of a sudden red flags are showing up, then you may want to examine the red flags because you spent 3 years examining him and he's coming up short. So, perhaps you should examine the red flags and consider them to be exactly what they are, because it is possible that you meet you have met the end of the road in this relationship, that it isn't offering you what you need long term. So maybe it offered you what you needed seasonally, but when you consider the lifetime ambitions and goals that you have, they're not able to meet your capacity. If he has not been able to decide that he wants to be with you for the rest of his life, y'all have not communicated about being together with each other for the rest of your lives after 3 years, he's probably playing much games at this point. And so now you need to decide whether you're going to continue to play the games or whether you're going to make a decision that, enough is enough, and write down everything you've learned in these last 3 years so that you can continue to move forward in what you want to do with your life, because it's very possible that this relationship is done.
Jasmine says, I agree with both of you, Sarah and Core. Sarah McKinney says, although we've come to the end of the road, little boys to me. And Sarah wants me to sing, evidently. Tamika says, yes, yes, yes. Katima says, Team Core on this one. Tranisha Johnson says, but he's in school to be a doctor, huh? It seems like he's just in a rough season, honestly. He is in
So
school
he
to be
should
a
be able to
doctor.
communicate that. He should be able to communicate that effectively. If he's overwhelmed and he's doing too much, and work has just gotten the better of him, he needs to be able to communicate that.
Joanne says, there's a season for everything, and you don't want it to be 10 years and you still saying he will change. So, all right.
Ooh, Alberta said, is he walking in his purpose or perpetrating? Huh? I'm here for that. I'm here for that comment.
Okay. So delegation. Danielle says Core has spoken. Ashley Tate says Core ain't with it. Ain't with it. All I think, if I could just summarize what I said, is you have to determine whether or not this is a phase that he's going through. And I think that this is more, she wants to get married and he's still trying to graduate from school and become a doctor. So fundamentally, they're in two different places right now because she has finished with school. But I feel like if this is the person who you feel like God has called you to be with, and he just needs to finish school in order to really set the foundation for your life, then that's one thing. But if you feel like he's kind of feeling a little sketchy, a little all over the place, a little bit like he's lost, then I think that you have to kind of confront that head on to kind of figure out, like, what is it that you're looking for? What is it that you need? But I feel like you have to have a good understanding of the core values that guide and dictate his life versus the seasons he's in and see what matches up. But
And the
a lot of
reality
people agree with
is,
Corey here in the delegation.
it's never going to be a good time to get married. And so, again, if he believes you're his wife, you're going to be his wife when he's going through school. You're going to be his wife when he gets out of school. If he believes that you are the person that he's going to spend the rest of his life with, then an obstacle before the marriage shouldn't stop him from getting into the marriage with you, because there's going to be obstacles after you are married. So if you cannot overcome the obstacles without the marriage, then it stands to reason that you won't do very well overcoming the obstacles within the marriage, because it's been able to be used as an excuse to block you outside of the marriage.
Can I just say, and I agree with what you're saying about the obstacles in marriage and all that stuff. All I'm gonna say is, like, while she was transitioning and stuff and complaining about her jobs, he was there, and now she's finally settled. He's not to that place where he's settled. When she was transitioning and stuff, marriage wasn't that heavy on her mind because she was trying to get to a place where she felt settled. And now she's kind of a little impatient with his process because he's not there at the same time that she's there.
Well, the
So
difference is, when she was going through, she was communicating her feelings and being overwhelmed with school.
where did you read all of that?
That's what she said.
You
That she
did
was
say that.
talking to him and telling him that, that she was going through a tough time.
Complaining about her job, but he's complaining about his stuff too.
Okay, it sounds like he's not communicating effectively with her at all.
Well, listen, you've heard two things from us, and now it's on you and the Lord. Okay. We're going to move on to the next question. Hey, SJR. Don't know if you'll see this, but I listen to your podcast in the mornings getting ready for work. You are a powerhouse, and I'm grateful for your ministry. My question, I feel, is a weird one, but here it goes. I've been a goody two shoes all my life. With that, I grew up in the church, and the Lord has had my heart since the age of 7. I am now 26 and still a virgin, saving myself from marriage by the grace of God. There is so much out there for being celibate and for people who didn't wait going into marriage. My question is, if you have any advice for someone who is a virgin in a relationship with someone who isn't one. My boyfriend and I have set boundaries and are intentionally waiting until marriage, but I find myself terrified thinking of my lack of experience compared to his. I realize I am in the minority and probably should realize it's a blessing that God has kept me this long, but I still find myself being insecure thoughts. Okay, I'm gonna hit you with my thoughts, toss the score. Here are my thoughts on what you said. I can understand just through empathy, if I were in your situation, waited this long, and now I'm in a relationship headed towards marriage and wondering ultimately how your experience or lack thereof will show up in that moment of connection with your future husband. What I will say is this: I believe that musically, culturally, through film, that so much of sex has been made about performance, right? Like how you're going to perform, how you're going to do this, how you're going to do X, Y, and Z. But I really believe that sex is at its most beautiful when it is about intimacy and connection. And I think that you have to be willing to undergo a reframing of your mind, and perhaps that's something that your spouse does as well, so that you guys can come to a place where you really recognize that intimacy is not about performance, it's about connection, it's about experiencing one another, it's about learning one another, and really creating a space where you can show up freely in your bedroom, right? So if you go into it and you feel pressure to be Meg the Stallion and Cardi B. Okay, if you feel pressure to show up and like perform and you've never had these experiences before, then that moment can be really intimidating. But when you come into it with this, like we're going to learn one another, we're going to explore one another. This is going to be about our intimacy and connection, and not about me like trying to do or be someone who I've never been before. I think you're going to find yourself relieved of a lot of pressure. You have so much to learn about intimacy in the context of your marriage: what you like, what you don't like, what feels good, what doesn't feel good. It can be a very encouraging experience if you remove the pressure and if you come to a place where you and your spouse are on the same page about what that moment is supposed to represent. I will tell you, having not been in your situation, that I do feel like when you bring all of these different experiences into this moment when you're finally with the person that God has for you, that you still have to detach from your previous way of doing things so that you can show up in a way that honors what you and your spouse have. And so I think that either way, you were going to be in a situation where you were going to have to detach from expectations so that you could really come to a place where you can create what sex, what making love, what intimacy looks like in the form of your marriage. And as you do that, there's a richer, more rewarding relationship waiting for you. I used to like, obviously, I watched the Surviving R. Kelly documentary, and I talked about so much about how R. Kelly's music was like the soundtrack to so much of like our relationships and how we showed up in our life, that ultimately we were just emulating what someone else deposited in our spirits. Well, no matter what music you were listening to, R. Kelly or whoever, when you are playing out what you've heard, playing out what you've seen, then you are borrowing someone else's sexuality. But when you stand authentically and independently and where you are, experience or lack thereof, then you have an opportunity to really come to a place where you determine what feels good for you, what feels organic and authentic to you. And that's when you get to have a relationship with your spouse that is exclusively between the two of you and not borrowed from someone else's idea of what your sexuality should look like.
I agree 100%. I absolutely agree 100%. I think that if I were to say anything, it would be more so making sure that you're with a man who has the patience to handle your process in exploring and developing a sexually intimate and gratifying relationship. Try to take him a little bit out of his comfort zone. Maybe both of you can go to some dance classes or go to, the toy store for adults, and pick out things that you would like to try, whether it's massage oils or things like that. Just wanting to make sure that you make yourself, like sis said, available to explore those different things, those different areas, and how you're going to be satisfied, and not consider all of the women that he's been with or even his experience, but rather making it an experience that he's never had with you, and you making an experience that you've never had with him, and then talking about those expectations ahead of time. Ask him what he expects from you sexually, and you let him know what you are expecting from him sexually, so that you all can build a foundation that's going to be strong and supportive. But I don't want you to think that just because you're a virgin and he's not, that that's some type of bad omen or anything to your relationship. It just means that there's going to be a development process in how you all engage in developing your sexual relationship with one another. And I think that that's very, very doable with patience. So communicate and make sure that he has the patience to handle your process.
Beautiful. Love this. Spot on, Sarah. I wish I knew this before I got married. First time joining live from Australia. Um, Amber says this is an important topic. Justin says just got here. We talking about sex. We are talking about sex, but I do feel like that this is an undervalued conversation. Maybe it's just amongst women, maybe it's in relationships in general. But I think no matter where you fall on the spectrum, so much of our sexual identity is shaped by things that we've heard and things that we've seen and the way we think we're supposed to perform. And what I'm learning now, is that sex is really about intimacy. Sex is really about connection and, like I said, exploration. And I think that you really do have to like take this pressure off of yourself to come in there and like boom shakalaka, bam, doom, got you. What? You know what I mean? And really say like, hey, I want to offer you my body. I want to receive your body. I want to learn you. I want to explore. And I think that changes it and takes it from being just like this chore where you perform well or don't perform well, and turns it into an experience. So Tiffany says these are healthy conversations. Lawrence is definitely not much spoken of in religion and spirituality. And I will say this last thing I will say, like whether it's between the Christian community or just like the culture at large, we spend a lot of time talking about like don't have sex, but I don't think we talk a lot about what sex is, the intimacy connected to it, the ability to really see someone in this like beautiful, vulnerable way, the sanctity of it all. And I feel like because we didn't do a good job explaining why it's beautiful to wait and to only have that experience with one person, that it was easier to kind of hijack it and make it more about like fun and performance and how you want to show up. But I think, there is something so powerful about seeing it properly, experiencing it properly, that makes you value it in such a way that you don't want to share it with anybody, just anybody, because it is so sacred. It is the sacred exposure of your soul and your body to another human being. And when you do that, you are more careful about who you give it to.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's like you said, it's worship. It's your opportunity to bring God into
Yeah.
something that can only be shared intimately between you and your spouse. And so when the love is there and the love is strong and the patience is there, because when you consider love from a biblical standpoint, which is the way that you should be expecting love in a marriage, the first thing that love is patient. And so when you have love and you have patience, then you're able to be open to one another in a way that you may not have ever been able to be open with someone else. And so I want you to be able to really show God that you are able to be open in this way, bringing in intimate worship within your marriage, so that you can develop a foundation where when the tough times come and the hard times come, then you have the patience from this process, and you have the gentleness from this process, and the not easily angered from this process, that will help you to get through the next fight.
Yeah, someone said Sarah goes worship, as in not understand. Sex is worship. The word yada means when Adam knew his
Come
wife
on here
yada
with your Hebrew.
is
She be knowing. Yada.
it
The
means
word
to
is yada.
know, right? And so we see God using that word throughout scripture when he talks about knowing us. Yada is to be known. And that's what sex is. It is to be known. And when you offer your body to something, when you offer your body to the person that God has given you, it is your form of worship. It is your way of honoring God with your body and with your union in a way that pleases. All right, I'm finished. Amen.
No,
Having
not
said
married,
that,
and she. Oh, they back. They done started over.
yeah, some of the comments scroll in out of order. So,
Yeah,
as it says, SJR is saying for real, exegete then sis.
she do. You know she
Okay, so
gonna
listen,
execute.
it's snack time. I have to exegete a little bit sometimes. Okay. So yes. Having said that, one, I already invited you guys to refuse to lose. The replay is November 13th. Core, we're doing Chicago. We're gonna do a
Oh,
Chicago replay. Refuse
awesome!
to lose November
Chicago
13th.
was
So when we do
lit. Chicago was it. Like,
Chicago was crazy.
Chicago was fire out
Pretty
of
sure my
all
shoes
of them.
ended up off in Chicago.
Yep,
Yeah, Chicago sent that. I think because my word kind of got like
it
hijacked to
did.
where it
It
was
got
like
hijacked. Then you
crazy.
started when you started talking about the window guard. You started blowing it down the
Don't
stage.
tell folks.
It was so good. It was good.
Don't tell folks. You guys got to see it. You got to
Go
see
and
it on
see it, y'all.
video.
It's gonna bless your life.
Replay November 13th, womanevolve.com. Make it a girls' night. Grab your homies. Somebody's in a fight, somebody's struggling, or you just need a little extra boost. You feeling real good. I want you guys to make sure that you check out the Chicago Refuse to Lose replay. Like I said, womanevolve.com has all of it. Lauren Stovall says, but is you doing Detroit? We're not doing Detroit. Tiffany says Fort Lauderdale was fire. Fort Lauderdale was amazing.
Fort
When we go into
Lauderdale was fine.
theaters, to bring in a camera crew is like another added layer of expense. So what happens in those rooms generally just stay in that room. But when we were in Chicago and when we were in Fort Lauderdale, we were in churches, so we were able to utilize the production equipment that was already there to capture footage. So all of those nights where we were in theaters, we won't be able to reproduce those, but we do have an opportunity with Chicago and maybe Fort Lauderdale. We're still kind of going through the footage to make sure that it's clean enough, but we know Chicago is super clean. So yeah, check that out. Refuse to lose, and it is snack time.
Yeah.
So I watched The Greatest Showman. Core, have you seen The Greatest Showman?
Yes.
Okay, so I watched it for the first time this weekend with the girls. I was taking Kenzie's braids out, and they so enjoyed the movie. Like, of course, I had never seen it before, but the girls have seen it so many times, and I'm always hearing them talk about it. But Friday night, I actually sat down and watched it with them, and like anytime a song came on, the girls were like, "Hold on, you gotta let me sing this one. This is my solo. You gotta let me sing this song." And they were belting these songs out, like Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, belting these songs out. And a part of me was really enjoying the musical, which is really surprising because I don't generally like musicals, but I was really enjoying The Greatest Showman. And I wanted to tell them to be quiet so that I could hear the music as it was originally intended without my 4-year-old and 11-year-old singing along with it. But there was also a part of me that was so blown away by how free they were. They didn't care if they were on pitch, they didn't care if they were harmonizing. All they cared about was being free in that moment. And I feel like there's so many pressures in our life, so many opportunities where we kind of have to put on our game face and keep it trucking. That for a minute, I just remembered what it was like to be free and to have joy. And so, my snack for you today is to find moments where you have freedom and joy, like childlike, unabandoned freedom and joy. And if it only comes in pockets, if it's just this podcast, if it's just watching a movie with your kids, if it's just outside with a hula hoop or a jump rope, make sure that you're taking time to tap into joy if it's present, or create joy if it's not there, because God knows there are so many challenges that we're up against in 2020 and beyond. And if we aren't intentional about creating pockets of joy, then we'll be focused and we may be building our businesses and building our families, and we may be whole and satisfied, but we may miss out on joy. So I want to give you permission to discover the pockets of joy that still exist in your everyday existence. And when you live in one of those pockets, to be fully present. Don't let it just pass you by. Breathe it in slowly and exhale it slowly, because those moments can be fleeting, but they are important to who you are.
I like it. I like it a lot. Find your yada. And what did you say it's called? Yada. Find your yada.
Yada, yada, yada was to know. Adam, yada.
Know what makes you happy.
Okay.
Know what brings you peace.
Pray us out, sis.
Father God, we thank you. We give you praise and we give you glory because you're the God that is deserving of it all. We thank you for your love and your favor towards us. We thank you, God, for your stability. We thank you for your ability to continue to push us when we do not want to be pushed, when we don't feel like being pushed. God, I thank you that you will help us to find our joy. You will help us to find our peace. You will help us to find what it is that we need, that we might be free to know you better, free to have you better, and free to be who you have called us to be. God, continue to do what you do when you do what you do best. God, it will be forever careful to give your name the glory, the praise, and the honor that it is due. For it is in your Son Jesus' name that we declare it is so, and because of the blood of Jesus and in the name of Jesus, so it is. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Koki. I love you.
My pleasure. Love you back.
Love y'all. See you next week.